Start off first with the ever so trending Joe Budden. Now this is now week 3, I want to say.
Yeah.
That he's been very viral, I'll say. So last night Drake released a 2-song EP, Scary Hours, and it may have you. Some are saying that he is going at Joe.
I mean, I can't lie. That one of those tracks is fire. But
let me just point. This isn't no shade. that diplomatic immunity record is fire. Pure flames.
Pure flames.
Pure flames. With that said, there's some questionable bars in there that Mr. Aubrey spewed.
October's very own.
Yeah. So a lot of the internet is buzzing about it. The bar in particular, it says, shit is complex like short niggas round tall ladies. I gotta watch who I'm talking to like it's all agents. This is when it gets thick, ladies and gentlemen. Then he says, I've seen budding careers turn and sit around and talk about other careers, judging their peers. Knowledge from niggas who did not contribute to none of this here. Covers my ears. Damn. Flames. So, a lot of people are speculating, like we did early on to segue back, that it's now becoming apparent, and I think it's safe to say, that Joe is 100% being used as a marketing tool.
Yeah. At this point, you can't really deny it. And we're not sitting here saying, like, there's anything wrong with that, but you can't deny that some of the most influential heavy hitters in music are using Joe as part of a marketing tool. At this point, it's clear as day.
But we not even forget that. We talking about, like their beef has been on. Look, we have a timeline here. It started 6:30 and dwindled out. Nothing happened until 7:27. So it's a few years at this point.
Yeah. And that's when Joe was responding.
And that's
too.
That's when, again, for the listeners that may not be aware of it, or Joe put out a series of records per a bunch of records that were hinted at being directed at him early on. You got the 4 a.m. Calabasas record. You have the what's the other record? The French Montana record that he leaked, where he went at him. All of this obviously stemmed from Joe's podcast, where he made comments about Drake and the music and things of that nature. But again, I thought this was a dead issue, especially because Joe addressed this on his podcast, saying that him and Drake had squashed their beef, and Drake supports him. So I don't know. I wonder if was this old music that he just was putting out, or
I don't know, because the fact that he had Complex in it, like,
well, that was
that,
this is, it seems fairly relevant.
Yeah, I think. Now, not even nowadays, even before, like at the core of beefs, there was always a marketing element to it. I just find it interesting that if you look at from the Migos to Drake, and some can even say for Eminem, at the core, Joe is there. And it's kind of like, I don't know if they're purposely doing it. I don't know if it's just like for marketing. I don't know. I'm not in those conversations. But I see that Joe has such a big influence that people are utilizing that influence to get across their music or to get across a specific point.
I agree with you. I think the tables have turned for Joe.
Yeah.
Right? So let's be clear again to the listeners. A lot of you have made comments about us talking about him, but we're in media. All right? Hello. We're going to talk about him. You can't help but to talk about him. You expect us to, Drake puts out a record at midnight, and then the whole internet is talking about it, and for us to not delve into it, despite the relationship, that just doesn't make sense. Let's be clear. We're going to talk about him.
But you know what? It's crazy. It's interesting. It's crazy and interesting. Joe is the Lavar Ball of music media.
But that's the thing I was going to get to.
Like, you even if you don't want to cover, you still kind of have to.
My, how the tables have turned.
Yeah. You have to.
For a whole year, 2 years, Joe has been called a hater, washed, irrelevant,
yep,
unsuccessful artist. Yet, you have a number of artists taking shots at him, and a relevant artist now, be it Lil Uzi Vert, wanting to do a record with Joe.
And even if they did take a shot, some of them then are going on, like the Migos with the interview with Ebro, basically said after, nah, we cool, like with Joe, like it's all love. So it's interesting just to see that chemistry, just to see how things go. But like you said, we can't sit here and not cover Joe. Like that's just how it is for Lavar and sports. Unfortunately, like some people may not like it, but we have to. We can't ignore trending topics.
100%.
We can't.
And second of all, if you're on the side of the fan of just creativity and growth and just music, this is a great time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great time. Granted, I mean, we're starting off with beef after beef, but it's a great time to be a part of this culture. It's a great time to want to delve into lyrics. Like, I was up. Me and Erin both were up.
Yeah.
Now thinking about it, I get excited for shit like this.
Same.
I get excited to be able to delve into records, to see the little pot shots, to see the wording, to see how it was placed, to see if there is even a correlation with the rumors as to who it could be potentially aimed at. I get excited for that. And
I also like the little nuances with the word plays that they have. Like, that's what I love. Like, it's crazy that it took for certain people, not all artists, but it took for Joe to say something to see the full potential of wordplay and metaphors and all of that in music. Yeah. I like this. Even if you're not, like, this is what the core of hip hop is. It is to be competitive. Yeah. Like, I got tired of the whole beefs with Twitter stuff. Like that shit was so old. Like, I'm tired of that. But now, like, I mean, if it takes Joe to do this, fine. I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm for the new music and the word plays and everything like that. I'm for it.
I'm here for it.
I love it.
Clear, I'm here for it. But even still, again, just wanting to address something even with the whole shady thing. Mm-hmm. On our last episode, we said that Joe was signed to Shady Records. Let me be clear, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are ignorant to how business goes with artists. Joe is a shady artist. He is associated and a part of Slaughterhouse, who is still currently signed to Shady Records. Yeah. That's a fact, right? At no point are we saying that Joe, a solo act, is signed to Shady Records. No, we're not saying that. Of course, he can go put out solo projects if he chooses to. We know that. No one is saying against that. But he's a shady artist, and he's signed under Slaughterhouse, so we're clear.
And also, just because he puts out an independent track himself doesn't mean that there isn't a direct or indirect correlation with Shady Records making money. Yeah. Because that buzz and that beef buzz, if that continues, it fuels everything. It creates It creates this entire competitive environment where people want to know. And then what if after it, boom, Slaughterhouse album drops? You know, like, there's so many marketing. Yeah, like people are taking non-traditional routes. Like we saw with Drake with his memes. People are taking non-traditional routes to market their content. You have to, because this industry is so oversaturated.
And that's what the point of this message was, ladies and gentlemen. While you guys may not see the bigger picture and may not be in the know of how beef really fuels modern day marketing for artists and companies, you need to do your due diligence and do some research on it. And now